Hey people, it's Steel Gamer here with an actual playing stream that I'm going to be doing for Fallout 76. I made a couple prior videos to this going over some things that the game developer really screwed up on and then dealing with the idiots attacking the videos that I made and things like that. So just to touch up on a few additional things, I'll be going through a couple of things and addressing very specific key factors in here on why the people that are attacking my videos really have no credibility and no valid points other than their opinions, which is fine. But what they're doing is they're taking opinions and then trying to override what I'm talking about, when basically everything falls onto the game developer, which is something people that are in love with the game or in love with the company refuse to do. So, as usual, I'm playing on PC using a Wired 360 controller, and what I'll be doing is I'll be talking about key factors as I go along, and I deleted all my original characters so there's none left. I basically went through and created a character. I just got disconnected from the server and none of my character saved, so I had to start this over again. And apparently YouTube stream doesn't like my quality of the video because it's stream held or something's messed up, so there might be something wrong with the video, but give me a second and let's see if I can fix it. Alright, so okay, I guess I'll just run it and see what happens, and if the stream is shitty and nothing I can do about it. Alright, so the first thing I want to get out of the way is I had a bunch of people that are attacking my videos that don't even make any sense about half the stuff they're saying. So I'm going to point out there's a major flaw with what day it is due to very specific things, and then I'll connect through and I'll prove what is going on simply because I connected the messages together, which brings the first point of why people always try to attack me saying, didn't you explore, didn't you read? I'm the one that's putting these pieces together, and it's completely somehow overlooked by the people who play these games because they're either in a rush to get out or whatever it is. So when they're arguing, they're actually not even arguing valid points. They're just talking out their ass. So the first thing I'm going to get out of the way is there's nothing indicating the day you woke up in the vault here by yourself that it's Reclamation Day. Now, other people will argue this point, but I'm going to use in-game facts to determine this. So the first thing that you have to understand is that, number one, there's no dates connected to when your character woke up to what's going on in the computer. So even reading the computer doesn't matter. These messages could be left anytime, at any given point in time. So for people to automatically assume that it's today is a falsehood. On top of that, the game developers don't even bother telling you it is today. You're assuming it's today, but the fact of the matter is, if you're actually paying attention to the story, it isn't today. It actually happened 25 years ago, and you woke up after everybody else was out of the vault. Now, people will try to use, well, the vault's kept up, or it says it on the robots, or how is the place kept up after 25 years? None of that crap is relevant, because you don't have a date saying when anything was done. So I'm going to use, again, in-game proof to prove it. So the first thing I'm going to point out is that the game developers need to cater this to people who have not played this game as well as the people who play it, because it's unfair to the people who don't know what the hell Fallout is, because none of them, first of all, are even going to know what the hell a holotape is. Saying to play a holotape does not describe to a player what it is, and while most players will just roll over and accept it, or most players who have played Fallout understand what that is no relevance to what I just said. The game developers need to explain what the fuck a holotape is. That leads to the first problem of explaining the game basics when you're in the vault here, which is where it should be explained, is that quests. Nowhere in this game are you told there are even quests or missions. Now, people will argue that. You see that up in the right-hand corner of the screen? That is an opinion. And here is the only thing that matters. Did the game developers actually say on screen with a message that that is a quest, or those have anything relevance to do with anything? No, they didn't. So it doesn't fucking matter what anybody says is in the top right corner of the screen. Saying it is a quest is your opinion. It's not a fact. The only way it can be a fact is if the game developers themselves tell you that's a quest. That's all that matters, and I'm not going to fucking argue with idiots anymore on this. That brings me to the next point. If this game does have quests, and they're inside terminals or things that you need to listen to, yes, It is absolutely the responsibility of the game developer to tell you that. The reason why that's important, and I don't understand why anybody would even argue this point, is because you're in a game, you can choose to do whatever you want. When you put that out to a player, it is up to a player whether or not they want to play a holotape. If the player has no idea, first of all, what a holotape is, and secondly, they're not told that inside these things that might be quests, so you might want to listen to them, asshole gamers blame the player for it's your fault for not listening to it. Nothing told you to listen to it, so that's you can't even counter that, because you're in a choice to do game, and yeah, whether or not somebody chooses to play it has no relevance to that. If they're not aware something is in there, well, that's why you need to do this. And I can't stand these fucking arguments. The bottom line here is, you're in the beginning of a game. If the game has quests, first of all, the game developer needs to tell you there are quests in this game, and this is how to know where they are. See this, and then they need to do a small breakdown of it so somebody knows. And they also need to say, quests can be picked up from here, 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 and here. And that's all you need to say. So these assholes that say, oh, you want your handheld for everything, don't understand the fucking simple concept of you put a very simple instruction on something in one place, it covers everything you need to know. So what is this whole shit about? Well, you want your handheld for everything? No, you fucking Momo. It's called explain the basics so somebody knows this. Because right now, there's no way for a player who is not familiar with a Fallout game ever to know that what a holotape is, what importance it has, if any, and if this game even has quests and how to know. Saying it's in the top right corner of the screen because you think it's obvious does not make that a quest. It makes you saying it is, but you have nothing backing your comment up or your opinion with a fact from the game developer. And if you're going to try to say that the game developer doesn't need to explain that, I never said that they did. But if they don't, I shouldn't say that. I'm not saying that the game developer required to be explaining it for convenience purposes. It's required to explain it because if they don't, if the game developers don't tell you what something is, I'm not going to sit and listen to an asshole gamer say what they're saying something is without a confirmation from the developer. You're not a developer, and if you don't have confirmation, then you're talking out your ass. I don't give a fuck what is obvious. What is obvious doesn't matter. Whether somebody played another Fallout game, not relevant. If you don't have something stating from the game developer what something is, then guess what? It doesn't matter what you think it is. You're not going to sit there. I'm not going to allow people to say this is what something is when it's not confirmed. All right, so let me get into this here. All right, so I forgot to read the reclamation here. Okay, so first of all, anybody who wants to try to argue that Reclamation Day is today, explain this. Don't argue with me until you're going to listen to what I'm going to say and then come up with the counterpoints. Where is the date that proves today is Reclamation Day? I'm not asking, I don't want to hear your fucking opinion, well, it's obvious. Explain how you fucking know that these dates coincide with when you woke up. Because the first factor here is there's nobody in the vault. Secondly, it says, we've been preparing for this moment for 25 years. There's no date to when that 25 years occurred. As far as you know, that's what happened is 100 years ago, and that message was left 25 years afterward, and this is now 50 years in the future. So, I don't give a shit what anybody fucking wants to say. You have no dates connecting this, and you have no dates stating when you woke up, so fuck off with this is today. It's not today. I can prove it's not today by something I'm going to connect in the Overseer's office. Okay, so again, I'm going to prove this. This is not something made up, and this will prove people don't read. So anybody that arguing with me really doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, but yet they're telling me I'm the dumb one. All right. So anyway, you're invited. Okay, again, what we have here is it's a layout of when this, I guess apparently the Overseer is going to do a speech. It says 10 to midnight, but it never specifies what date or if that's tonight. And I'm telling you that happened 25 years ago. And there's two reasons why that you can't. There's two reasons why that prove this that can't be argued against. All right, so next thing I'm going to get out of the way, and there are certain ways I'm just going to start talking to you, the viewer, and that's basically because this is how you have to talk to these fucking idiots that play this game who understand shit. Nowhere is there map markers in this game. I don't give a shit what a player fucking says. Unless a game developer tells you there's map markers and these are what they look like, fuck off saying, well, something's blinking. I don't give a flying fuck if something's blinking. Either you pull up the information from the game developer that says that's a marker, or stop trying to use your opinion as a fact, period. How did you... I had somebody ask me, how did you take 10 minutes to find the Pip-Boy? How the fuck do you not understand that the Pip-Boy's not marked on the screen? Yes, it is. Really? You see the Pip-Boy marked anywhere on the screen here? No, fuck off. Don't go around saying, look to the right. I'm not asking to look for the right. I'm asking, what indication do you have that right now, at this angle of the screen, is the Pip-Boy on the right? That you don't have one, so shut the fuck up about ignoring this angle. Okay, stop ignoring this fucking angle where you can't see the right side of the door, and there's nothing indicating that anything is even on the right side of the door. So people, for gamers to ignore these two things and then still try to say it's on the right of the door means you're a fucking idiot and a troll and likes to fucking argue, because you can't remove this angle from the equation. It's part of this. Well, look to the right side of the door. Show me why I have to look on the right side of the door. Well, you just look around. I'm not asking for a debate about opinions. Do the game makers at this point take this angle into consideration, that a player might be looking at this, so they would need to actually put that information there to get somebody to look to the right side of the screen? They didn't put it in here, so anybody trying to say, oh, just look to the right, can shut the fuck up, because that's not a valid point to this. We're talking about this angle, and you're like the developer. You refuse to take somebody looking at this angle into account, and if they actually don't turn this way, but decide to turn around and go back the way they came in, that's a bad fucking program. I don't know, how the fuck does anybody even argue against that? Okay, so again, well, that flashing reticle means to go up to it. Oh, this TV's on. Let me go up to it. This stove means to go up to it. So my point is, anybody trying to say what is on a screen so you go up to it, that same argument applies to every single thing in the entire game. You can't say, well, that was there, but you don't go up to this because it's on the screen. You don't go up to this because it's on the screen. Why would you go up to this if it's not on the screen? Why would you do that? It's the stupid, it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. And again, I don't give a shit what you want to say that flashing thing is. The game developers at this point should have already told you these are markers and that to go to them. Without the game developer telling you that, it doesn't fucking matter what a player chooses to do. A player's trying to insinuate that without a backed up message from the game developer. Now, whether or not that's a marker isn't the point. Now, I'm going to get this next thing out of the way, because this next thing is a fucking ridiculous argument that people tried to say as well. Because before I pull this out, I'm going to point something out that fucking gamers argued with me profusely on, but totally ignored the original point, which is, if you activate this, alright, the message that pops up on the left side of the screen is from the game developer telling you this message. There's a message that says, press B to open it up. It didn't do it because the game reset. But when you first equip the Pip-Boy, there is a message that literally pops up on the screen that says, press B to open the Pip-Boy. Now, here is the thing that I want to point out. Since that message didn't come up, if none of yous ever, anybody that was arguing with me, never even saw that message, you would never know enough to press B to open it. That's the whole fucking point to the entire argument that people are arguing with me on. The game developer puts it on the screen to make sure you know that the Pip-Boy can be opened. And without that message, you see this. So somebody who's never played a Fallout game just ran into this situation without that message on the screen telling them that B even, or whatever the hotkey is, opens up the Pip-Boy, they will never know the Pip-Boy is even an item in the game. That's the first problem. The second problem is, when you open the screen, the key factor here is, I'm going to pound this into the ground. The game makers tell you, with an on-screen message that shows up in the upper left corner, press whatever hotkey it is. In this case, it's B because I'm using a Wired 360 controller, so I'll be referencing that. They say press B to open the Pip-Boy. Now, what gets me about gamers who argue with this is that they will ignore that fucking message in the next point I'm bringing up and never actually connect the two of them together, that when you press B, there is nothing here from the game developer that even tells you this screen is interactive. But yet gamers will say, well, it's on the screen and do this, this, and this. The point here is that if a gamer wants to actually say and have the balls and audacity to literally argue that this screen does not need a message from the developer to press or open a menu so somebody knows that this Pip-Boy is usable other than this one screen that has no instructions, then that means when you first equip it, you also don't need, then you're going to say that the first message that pops up to tell you to open it is also not needed. You're not going to fucking tell me, the argument here is, a gamer's not going to fucking tell me it's okay to tell a person that picks this up to open it, but it's not okay for them to fucking tell you to do anything while it's open. The fact of the matter is, you can't ignore the first message that tells you to open it, because the only way you would know enough to open it in the first place is with a message. Because if you don't have a message, you don't even know opening it is possible. So they give you a message to let you know you can fucking do it. When you open this, just because RT is on the screen, view, perks, Y, all of the shit on the screen does not mean you fucking do anything. And all these asshole gamers say this screen doesn't need to be there, but have no problems with the first message popping up. If you're going to say this screen doesn't need a message, then you don't need a message saying you need to open it. You cannot have it both fucking ways. But again, the whole point here is, the reason that the game developers tell you to open it is because nobody in existence would fucking know that you can even open it. So gamers are going to tell me, without having that message, they're just going to press B anyway, regardless, without having any way to know that? No, they're not going to do that. And for that particular reason, it's the same concept. You're going to tell somebody to open it so you know it can be opened. Then you also need to tell them that these screens can be interacted with. Something being on the screen does not mean interact with it any more than that means up in the upper right corner, any more than that means that's a fucking quest or a log or something like that. It's the same fucking concept. If you're too stupid to understand that. No, you're trying to fucking remove part of the argument. Then you're too stupid to understand that you don't need the message saying to open it in the first place. Nobody's going to fucking open it. If nobody's going to open it because they don't know it exists, nobody's going to press a button here because they don't know this is interactive. It's the same fucking argument. So anyway, let me continue. So, without a message stating what to do with this screen, the screen is fucking useless to somebody who has no idea about it. Only assholes that play a Fallout game would be... Who the fuck clicks on shit without being told and argues that point, but doesn't argue they're told to open it? Who's going to fucking click on something without being told to open something? Are you fucking kidding me? It's a dumb argument. So anyway, let me continue on here. Because I'm going to bring up something about these fucking cardboard cutouts that some asshole decided to freaking try to bring up to me. He actually tried arguing that the Pip-Boy cardboard cutouts, or whatever the fuck they are, point to a direction in which to go in. I can say that same thing about anything in this vault. So this right here. Well, there's a marker on it. Again, I'm not going to get into the fucking whole marker thing. The game developers didn't even tell you there were markers in here in the first place, so stop even trying to use markers are there, well, it's obvious, or anything else to fucking try to counter this. A cardboard cutout pointing in a direction means jack shit. There's a fucking birthday party going on here, and that's all that is. It's decoration. You can't say that that points the way out any more than I can say this fucking cone points up, so that's the way out. I can do that one argument with any single thing in this entire vote. Oh, look, the light's blinking. I gotta go back there. Look. Oh, look, I went back there. Look, I went back there. Look, I gotta press this. Look, this is a suitcase. I must press that. I can say that these fucking yellow lines direct the way out. In the same fashion you can there. It's no fucking different. It's a decoration that the game developers never told you has even any relevance to anything. It's a birthday decoration and nothing more. Anybody that wants to read into that about it pointing or trying to say something about markers is making shit up to try to argue. The fact of the matter is the game developers never say that points the way out, so stop fucking trying to say that's some, observation factor. That's an observation factor you crammed into the game without any backed up facts. So let me continue here. Because again, I'm now going to point this out, which is another issue. Okay, so, anybody trying to say, well, did you follow these steps? No, why would I? Why wouldn't you? Because the game developers don't tell you. You're in the beginning of a game, and they need to be explaining every little thing on how this works. You want your hand held for everything? I revert back to the first message I said. You're fucking going to explain something to somebody. Here's markers. This is what it is. Read these things. It's the same fucking thing at the computer terminal. Don't get this horse shit about, oh, you want everything. No. I want a basic piece of information that covers all aspects of it that can be written in a fucking single sentence so you don't crowd the entire screen. So fuck off with the, oh, you want this, you want every screen explained to you. Yeah, every screen needs to be explained, but it can be done in one sentence with a basic overview and say, here's an example, this is how you use this, follow this for the rest of the game. It's not that fucking hard to write a single sentence on that on one screen. Alright, so anyway, I want to make a point here, is that anybody walking up to this, fine, that's an observation factor, but the fact remains is, if you're going to sit there and bitch about the fucking cardboard cutouts, then that means you won't walk up to this first. You're going to talk to the robot. Now, at this point, the robot needs to tell you to look over to the left and grab this shit. They don't. It doesn't. This robot literally doesn't even tell you anything about this, and that's another issue. So anybody trying to say walk up to this, but doesn't you want to use the argument that the robots talk to, even though the robot doesn't say anything, is a fucking idiot, because they're trying to split hairs on what they're saying. If anything, the robot would tell you to go there. So, and then you could stand there. I mean, I understand if people want to stand there because the visual, look at the footsteps. How the fuck do you know that this isn't a party game? If nobody else is in the vault and you can't do anything, what the fuck would you do? Great. That would be like saying, oh, I should be able to go back here and press something. I mean, it's a fucking dumb argument. So, I'm just going to grab these. Okay. Drinks prevent dehydration. Open your Pip-Boy and go to item aid. Okay, again, here we go with the Pip-Boy. I'm going to do what this says. Without being told where the fucking item tab is and how to access it, you can't do that instruction. I don't give a flying fuck what anybody says. How do you just press RT? Are you told how to go to the item tab? No, then it doesn't fucking matter what you do. If the game developer doesn't tell you how to access these tabs, or that these tabs are even interactive in the first place, fuck off with it's observant, or you should know. That is your opinion. This is for somebody who has never played this, who would never know you can even do half of that shit. So to call them dumb would be the equivalency of some asshole being in a math class and some new people coming in who have no idea how the class structure is, and then actually having the classmates who have been there for like years actually having the balls and audacity to tell the new players who have no fucking way to know anything about the class that they should know all about it and the basics, and when they don't, call them dumb and that they shouldn't be in the game. It's they shouldn't be in the class. It's the same argument. You're not taking into consideration that what you're talking about somebody doesn't know. Open and just go to the item screen. Before you tell anybody to go to the item screen, you need to ask them if they even understand how that the Pip-Boy is even usable. And yes, that does need to be explained for somebody who has never played the game. Don't go around insinuating, saying shit, and then skipping all the steps that lead up to that. You have to explain it as if somebody doesn't understand that. So don't start trying to say, well, it's explained in other Fallout games, and then now, oh, that's your fault for not playing them. Fuck off. So anyway, let me continue here. I'm gonna speed this up now because basically there's nothing really to talk about on this. Alright, Stimpaks heal over time, press that to use, okay, blah, 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 blah. Now, these pieces of information are really fucking pointless right now, because to put them here now, the player's going to forget about them. Now, I've always said that if you give a player a piece of information, and then they forget about it, that's fine. However, there are ways to put the information in the game when it's only valid to actually put that information up on the screen. Saying it now where the information isn't even needed is useless. Only put the information up as a reminder. So, for example, you pick up these Stimpaks. I'm not going to remember that. I'm not going to remember the key factor here. What should happen is when you get outside, a combat tutorial should take place with a dummy, whatever it is. Something should come up and say, we're going to, boom, get hit. Okay? Granted, you get attacked. You're not ready for it, but that's fine. Throw somebody into that. But at least when you get hit, say, remember, you have a Stimpak. Press this to use. Then you fucking have that's fine. Remind the person. Remind the person or tell the person only when that aspect is needed. Telling them now where it's not needed is not going to allow them to remember. So let me continue going on here. I'm just saying, these fucking gamers are just fucking retarded. By the way, after I get out of the vault and this saves, I'm going to restart the stream, and then I'm going to remove this part of it from the stream here, and that way people who don't want to listen to it can fucking just watch the playthrough itself. Okay, now I'm gonna. This is where shit. All right, open up the emotes menu. Okay, I have no idea what the fuck this is. That was never explained. Now I'm not gonna say I don't have any idea what it is. This is speaking from a gamer point of. This is speaking from a point of view from somebody who doesn't understand. Now that doesn't mean I don't understand. I'm just saying I'm speaking for somebody that wouldn't. That if they don't understand it, you're not gonna fucking know what this means. What the fuck is this design? For a game developer to tell you this opens it, but then doesn't tell you anything else, is just as bad as the fucking Pip-Boy. They're putting in half-ass pieces of incomplete information, and then basically saying fuck you to the gamer that's supposed to magically know. And these pieces of information are fine for the people who played the game, but none of that shit's relevant because I'm talking about somebody who's never played these games and has no fucking clue about that. So I understand that game developers do that, but that's just fucking retarded on that point. Okay, so let me go in here with the Overseer's Terminal. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove that this shit happened. Everything in the vault, Reclamation Day, happened 25 years ago and has nothing to do when you woke up. Because as I said, when you look at the archive files here, okay, Reclamation Day has arrived. Then you got survival, and okay, so what you're going to do is Reclamation Day has arrived. All right. Again, you have no dates, but let me show you how this proves Reclamation Day is not today, and Reclamation Day is today when these things were written, not when you woke up. So let me clarify this. We counted down to midnight. I haven't seen everyone cheer like that since Vault Baby #1 was born, whatever the fuck that means. I called lights out a couple hours ago. Had to get security to help a few people to their beds. Then the volunteers and I all got standees set up. Okay, standees set up, just like we practice. Need to make the final recordings, and then it'll be time to head out that door. I wish I could be there to help everyone on their way, but I know they'll make me proud. So this is saying that this person left the vault way before anybody. So that's the first thing. Survival first. As instructed, we set up the survival packages. I've advised everyone to run fast and far away from 76 as soon as the doors open. We have no information about what awaits us. Vault Tech says we're America's best hope. Now we'll find out. Now, a couple of things here I'm going to point out. If Reclamation Day just happened, okay, and everybody just left the vault, that means the vault doors are still going to be open when you get to the exit. Okay, that's the first key factor. Okay? So when you piece together, we've been waiting for this day for 25 years, and then you actually come to here, see, you've instructed everybody. The person that wrote this has already left the vault because the previous message states that. They left the vault before anybody else, but they're now saying the vault doors are already open because if anybody just left the vault, the doors will be open. That is a fact. So let me continue on here. Reclamation Day has arrived. We counted down to midnight. Oh, never mind. I already did that. So let me go into annual review. Another year down, our mission continues. Top issues. The current count. All right, so this is just basically saying there's some unruly behavior. It's generally pretty easy to maintain order. All right, so I'm going to continue going in here. So, top success. The award ceremonies. Okay, so this is just basically talking about random stuff in the past. So now let me go back here and go operational procedures. I think it's an operational procedures, right? Operation procedures, sorry. Mandatory shutdown. Our studies have shown even after a relatively short duration of living with the amenities of Vault Tech, that test subjects grow to depend on them. That will not do for Vault 76. So in other words, they're saying we need to figure out a different way to do this. After the all-clear message is received, Vault 76 will shut down all functions inside of 24 hours. Air circulation will cease last, and you should warn the vault residents that staying inside the vault can be lethal after this period. Everyone must leave the nest. It's imperative that all residents are focused on the important job of rebuilding America. Again, you have no idea when this happened, so this is proving that whatever happened is already long done. And when you take the message of, we've been waiting for this moment for 25 years, it proves that what you're reading happened 25 years ago. All of these things happened 25 years ago. The robots and everything else intact in the vault happened 25 years ago. If everybody just left today, the vault doors would still be open. Also, if you stayed in here, since the vault doors are open, if this was just active and the vault doors are shut, that means the air is running out and you will die in here if you stay in here for an actual hour. That's another way you prove this. So let me go into day-to-day duties. This is just basically saying that, there's some people that can use unique skills to make a report and things like that. So that's really all this comes down to. Now, if you back out and you look at this Vault 76 parameters, again, this is, how you doing, viewer? I'm just explaining that Reclamation Day actually happened 25 years ago when you woke up, not 25 years ago, not when you actually woke up. The interesting thing is how gamers don't actually connect the first terminal to this one and totally ignore the fact that the first terminal says everything that just happened 20. We've been waiting for this for 25 years, and now what they already talked about is in the past because there's nobody in the vault. You're by yourself and you woke up, which means you woke up 25 years after that shit happened because there are certain things in here that say what people already did, and there's certain conditions that actually happened that fell under this that coincide with that. So, for example, if people think that Reclamation Day happened, everybody currently just left the vault after you woke up after this party, that means the vault doors will still be opened. And if they're not, that means whatever happened 25 years ago, because you can't have everybody just leave and then have the vault doors close. It doesn't work that way. So that's what I find interesting, how people didn't pay attention to that. And this is the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have had a ration of shit from people that tell me, oh, you don't read or you don't know how to pay attention to things. But what's funny is all of their opinions have no relevance to this. I am literally proving Reclamation Day happened over 25 years. It happened like 25 years ago. It does not happen today. There's also the fact that there's no dates attached to them to when you woke up is another factor. I've even had somebody actually try to point out the date on your Pip-Boy does something, but that's easily explained away because if somebody set something, you don't have a current date to state when the date on your Pip-Boy is actually active. You assume it's the current date, but the fact remains is that none of this shit is. Here it is. 25 years. Here is where you prove that the Vault Reclamation Day that everybody's talking about this party did not happen last night. It happened 25 years ago. And this gets me how people actually fail to acknowledge this. 25 years after the vault doors close, you are to prepare your citizens to leave Vault 76 and begin a process called reclamation. Now, that's not to say Reclamation Day hadn't gone on. It's just today itself is not Reclamation Day. It's just saying Reclamation Day, this is what happened on it. So it literally states right there, and the key factor is that first sentence, 25 years after the vault doors close. That means once the doors close, 25 years have passed. And if everybody just left the vault, as people think it is, the vault doors will be open when you go to the exit. You can't ignore that. So it's interesting to watch people actually think today is Reclamation Day. Now, if Reclamation Day is today, I just found a major problem with the storyline. But again, it's easily cleared up by this first sentence, and there's no dates connected to when you woke up. You are literally sleeping for 25 years. That's literally what this comes down to. Everybody in the vault's already gone. That's why nobody's in there. And the vault doors are closed, and that's the key factor. So it's interesting when you look at it like this because most people don't put two and two together. So now here we go. The vault doors are closed. 25 years happened. So after Reclamation Day, after the vault doors close and everybody's all set, you are personally ordered to find and secure 3 nuclear silo codes named Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. If these sites are still nuclear capable, ensure no one except Vault-Tec can access or launch nuclear ordnance. To be clear, even if there were other authorities, whether government, militia, or otherwise. Welcome to Robo Industries, whatever, claims to be ignored. All right, so anyway, the point that I'm making here is that I had actually somebody argue with me. Today is Reclamation Day. You should listen to the overseer. Whatever. No, the fucking overseer, whatever that message is, it says this is 25 years later. It's not fucking today. It's so funny. People are fucking stupid. All right, so anyway, the picking this up, right? Nowhere does the game even tell you that half of the sheet's even active. You gotta kind of explore. That I get. But what I just want to point this out. Okay, open your Pip-Boy and press LB. Once you're in the wilderness, to build or relocate your camp. Okay, that message should not even be up on the screen right now. That shouldn't even happen, because what's going to happen is anybody who's trying to play this game is getting so much information, they're going to go ahead and do things that they're going to forget about that message. So once you're in the wilderness, now they need to define what the wilderness is. I know meaning outside, but that's not the point. So I don't know. I just find it interesting, the idiocy level of people who don't actually pay attention to stuff, try to argue to other people that they're not paying attention, but yet they overlook a simple fact that Reclamation Day is 25 years ago and not today, and yet they will actually, if you ask anybody when Reclamation Day is, they'll tell you it's when you woke up out of the vault. Then ask them, why does the vault thing say 25 years later after the doors close, and then when you get to the exit, the doors are closed? If it literally just happened, why are the doors closed? Where is everybody? In other words, everybody's already long fucking gone. That's the point. So that's the exit. See the door? It's fucking closed. So I don't know. I just find it funny how people overlook the simplest little details that I guess apparently I'm the one not paying attention to the game because I don't know enough to press a button on this. Really? Alright, so anyway, I'm going to bring up hacking. Now, this is badly explained at all. Basically what it comes down to is when you're dealing with hacking, guess the password. If you're wrong, the likeness number shows you how many letters in the right position match the password. That's written fucked up. It's bad grammar. It shouldn't be like that. So, the first thing here is that there's no navigation to what the fuck they're even talking about. So the game developers need to tell you. This is the first thing you come across as far as hacking. So it's inexcusable for a game developer to not walk a player through this for this one time. Because everyone always says, oh, you want your hand held for everything? No, there's a difference between asking for your hand to be held and then getting a basic description on something the first time you run into it, so that way you know what you're doing if you run into it further on in the game. So that's my point. Without telling a player you can navigate through this, this screen is fucking useless. It does nothing, and there's no way anybody's going to be able to get this according to what was written on the screen. You need much clearer instructions on that, and you need to have the person walk through and actually what it is what you're walking through literally should be you unlocking it, so they know. See how these letters do this and this and this? Without any of that, somebody who's never played this game is not going to have a fucking clue, no matter how many computers they come across, no matter how many perks that they have for doing it. They're not going to be able to do it because the basic concept on how to do it is missing. So, for example, if you don't tell a player, you can even highlight the words, saying match the words, they're waiting for how to get the words to show up on the screen. Even though they're there, the person's waiting for, what do you mean match the words? Or whatever the fuck it said, you know what I mean? So, for example, in this particular case, because the instructions are so vague, the only way you can actually hack this is to get the word right on the first try. If you don't get the word right on the first try, then only somebody who has been explained this from the developer, who has played a previous Fallout game, is actually going to understand what the fuck to do here. Otherwise, you're never going to know. So, because if I click this, likeness 1, that literally means nothing. That literally means nothing to me. Like, I don't say nothing to me. I kind of know what it means, but that isn't relevant. It doesn't state likeness of what? What is Fargo a likeness to? That's my point. So, I just got lucky with it. So, I opened it. I have no idea why I was able to open it other than getting lucky. So, the issue here is that it's really badly explained. And what's funny is a gamer thinks that you should psychically know this stuff. And that leads me to the original first point. I said that the game developers should be telling you, here, follow these markers. The markers represent this, and then when you go to a terminal, like it should have it should lead you to the terminal, and then say this game has quests. Terminals have quests in them, so when you get them, make sure you read when you go to a terminal. They should let you know that some quests come from terminals, which they don't, and then say, okay, to know you have a quest, this is what it looks like. And then that covers everything. So it should tell you how to pick quest up, but it doesn't. So anybody, so what happens is in an open world game and something that you want to choose to do, if you are not aware that you can get quests from terminals, and then you wind up not being able to hack the terminals, you're never going to be able to get the quest out of that, first of all. And secondly, even if you could hack it, yeah, you're curious about what's reading it, you want to go through all these screens, but if you're going to read, if you come across, let's say, the first 3 computers you come across in the game are just people bitching about, they needed to be restrained, or we needed to put this on lockdown, that doesn't contain information, that's not a quest. So if you come across the first 3 computers like that, and then you don't get anything, you're going to stop reading computers because you're just going to assume they're all like that. That's bad programming. You need to tell a player that there are quests inside the computer. And so that way they have a reason to read it, not just do what you want, and when they miss it, you try to blame a player for not doing that. That's not how this works. So yeah, this is another one that says 25 years of service, no KIAs. I don't know what that means. Killed in action, I guess. One hell of a send-off. So this happened, this message was written 25 years ago, which coincides with the first message about the vault being closed, which means this happened 25 years later. So that proves that the reclamation day is 25 years ago. All right, so let me get out here and hopefully this friggin' saves. I had to turn the volume down on this. So, like I said, after I get out and hopefully this saves, I'm just going to exit the stream and then restart it right here, and that's it. Alright, so I need to figure something out about this. Alright, so I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to try to do something here. Alright, so I'm going to... Alright, I'm going to end this, and then I'm going to pick it back up right where I left off. So, give me a few minutes. And just because I always do this, TL Gamer signing off. Have a good day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks.